fuck it. Well, we'll wing it.
We'll fucking wing it. All right. Hey, Cassini.
Pretty sure. What?
Hey, let me start.
Hey, leave it. Oh.
I don't want to, but I will for you. Hey, Cassini, what were we doing? Captain America Civil War about?
I refuse to call it that movie.
What do you call it?
I call it Civil War because it's not a fucking Captain America movie
It's
for a
the
start.
third
It's
Captain
about
America
everybody.
movie. Yeah.
No, not.
It's about everyone, but it's called Captain America Civil War.
They should have called it Avengers 2.5 because fuck.
I don't want a decimal in my movie.
Why not?
This is Avengers 2.4.
All right, Avengers 2.5.
Ugh.
How are you with
It's like
fractions?
that fucking Lion King movie.
Hey, it's the best one.
No, it's not. It's
really
not, and
wasn't,
you know it.
It wasn't. I can't even say that with a straight face.
Okay.
Chris Evans. That was his name. He plays Captain America. Didn't
He sure does, buddy.
Wasn't he also the Human Torch?
Yeah, I think he was.
In the Fantastic Five.
Who's the fifth?
Silver Surfer.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Fantastic Five. I want to talk about Captain America.
You don't want to talk about Lawrence Fishburne's greatest role?
I want to talk about Avengers 2.5.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Well, we don't remember.
This is good. I don't remember. Next episode. Yeah, I remember what happens exactly in that film. Well, they're in a snow place. Yeah, no, the opening scene of that movie. They're in a big. I think they're in Russia.
Yep.
This is going to be great because, as we know from the last episode, I'm fantastic at speaking Russian. And then they zoom in on like a big bunker, and then door opens for no reason. It's really cold outside. Like, if it was that cold and someone opened the door, I would instantly do what my mum used to do and be like, "Are we paying to heat the whole neighbourhood? The heating's on, shut the door."
It's like a military building, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking fortress. I think they're going to be okay.
Probably not, though, because, Zemo gets into that place super easy, right? You just fucking, hammers off a bit of ice and presses some buttons. I love Zemo. He was my favourite character in the entire movie. Daniel Brühl.
That much, is he?
I know, but he's such a good actor, though. He's a great actor. Everyone should watch all of his films. Anyway, we're getting off topic. All right. Put me on the fucking spot. He was on. He was in
game.
Talk that game. I'm gonna talk that game. He was in Rush with Thor.
Okay.
And he was in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
He was in The Bourne Ultimatum and some other things.
All right, time to go.
Those were probably his most known ones. Oh, he was also in that other movie with Emma Watson, The Colony. Was it called The Colony? Because it was about some mad cult, wasn't it?
I'm not familiar with that one, but I'm interested.
Are you not? Yeah, it was about Emma Watson and Daniel Brühl. I can't pronounce his name properly. He gets abducted and gets brought into like a colony cult, and she infiltrates it, trying to get him out. Very good.
We'll have to check it
out. Emma Watson really coming into her own. No, I refuse to. Shut up. It's gonna be so good though.
I think this is going to be the longest intro with the least amount of description for the movie so far. So far, we've gotten to a door opened.
Door opens in the snow, and then they skip past the entrance that you don't sign in or anything, and then the big tube opens up, and old Bucky Barnes, old Winter Soldier. I'm not going to call him Bucky this entire time, by the way.
Oh God.
I think the movie would have been way better if his name was Bucky.
Will you call him Winter Soldier at least sometimes? Sometimes, okay.
Sometimes I might call him Stan Sebastian.
Or Sebastian Stan.
As well.
No one is quite sure which it is.
Who knows these things?
Not even him.
But anyway, they get him out, and they start electrocuting his face. And some Russian dude is saying things in Russian.
Yeah.
He's got the red book with the star on it that becomes important later, as every film does. And then flash forward / flashback. It's a flash forward in a flashback.
Ah.
And then he's driving on a motorbike, and then he shoots a car, and then the car crashes, and then he gets out, and he opens the boot or the trunk, and then he opens the briefcase, and there's some drugs in it, and he takes the drugs, and that's the end of that movie.
Wait, are you calling the flashback flash forward its own movie?
Yes.
Okay.
That was Avengers 2.2.
Could also be called a memory.
Cut to present day. We're in Africa, and old Scarlet Witch is there drinking a nice coffee. Also, this is completely unrelated, but fuck it. Everyone loves tangents. Every single scene in this movie, when someone is drinking out of a mug or a coffee cup or a teacup or anything like, you can quite clearly tell there is no fluid in those cups.
I don't recall many of those scenes. If
I'll point them out.
Beyond the
Don't you
one
worry.
you just mentioned. All right.
So,
I'll keep an eye out on this.
So Scarlet Witch, old Wanda Maximoff, pours nothing into her cup. She quite deliberately stirs nothing, and then she takes a sip, and then she's on her earpiece talking to Captain America about things. I didn't really pay attention to this part because it was boring.
They're just chatting.
They're just chatting, and
with each other.
she's like, "Oh, I can see there's police people. It's a quiet street." And it's also boring. And then, oh, what a surprise. Black Widow is also sat down there drinking nothing. You've got to learn how to be sneaky stealthy like me.
Is that what she says?
Something like that. And then old Anthony Mackie, a.k.a. Sam Wilson, a.k.a. Falcon.
Good old boy.
Is all like, anyone ever told you you're paranoid? She's like, not to my face. Why, did you hear something? Direct quote. He's on the roof with his big wings because he'd look weird on the street with it. They spot a big garbage truck that pushes a car out of the way, and nobody thinks that's weird. I would have been like, "Oi, give me your insurance details." And then Captain America's in a window, looking out the window in a house, and he's all like, "Oh, that garbage truck for no reason looks suspicious. Let's push on with the plot, shall we?" So, because Falcon was really quite underwhelming in Captain America Winter Soldier, I had to give him something new. So out shoots this little robot bird, clearly built by Tony Stark, because nobody else is smart enough to do that. And it flies around, and then it flies under the car, and it's all like, and it scans it, and then you find out that the truck is loaded for max weight, also direct quote, and the driver's armed, and he's like, "Oh no, it's a battering ram." They're not going to do the thing that no one cared about. They're going to do something else that's going to progress the plot. The truck drives super fast, and the guy jumps out, probably hurting himself, because he's got a gun in his back pocket. So he jumps, he kind of rolls, and you know that if you'd like rolled onto a gun, that would really hurt. But anyway, cube truck hits wall, front flips, out, then soldiers come in, get out with guns, and they're like, "Everybody get down," blah, 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 and they're storming some place we don't know. Loads of people get all, and then Captain Americans are like, "Oh no, we have to stop those people." And then he falls out of the sky, and he beats people up. And he does.
It doesn't sound intentional when you say that.
He's just, "Oh no, what am I doing here now?"
Oops.
He just fucks up people because he's super strong. He's a super soldier. He just absolutely wrecks people with his shield that flies. And
you could almost say it's a Captain America movie.
No, I refuse. I refuse to call this movie Captain America Civil War.
You just did.
No. That was me saying that I'm not going to call it that.
All right, well...
That is a title that I will boycott.
We'll discuss it, okay?
I'd much rather it just be called Civil War. But anyway.
Captain America's doing shit.
Captain America's beating people up. Falcon's beating people up. Scarlet Witch is not beating people up because she doesn't beat people up, but she magic beats people up. I suppose, would you say what she's got is magic in this movie? Like, I know she's more or less magic in the comic books, but would you call what she does magic? Or do you think they would try and put it off as something else?
I mean, it's supposed to be a mutation, right?
Well, it is.
For all intents and purposes, it's magic.
I mean, I don't understand it, so it's obviously magic.
Fair enough. Everything you don't understand is magic.
Exactly. So, I think the bad people shot smoke in the building. Whether or not it was like a toxic smoke or just like, my eyes.
They gassed it.
But we don't know. So Wanda magic pushes Captain America through the window. And then he just starts to beat people up because that's what he does. Punches his way through every story. And Scarlet Witch magic outs all the smoke. Like that.
The tear gas was also magic.
And then that character who was in Winter Soldier, I think his character was Crossbones. Anyway, and he's all like, "Oh no, they're here. Grab the thing and let's get the fuck out of here." And he jumps out. Like, as soon as Captain America gets in the building, everyone gets out of the building, which I suppose is fair because he's really strong. And then some other shit happens that no one cares about. And then they end up running around and chasing people. which again, no one cares about. Like, this entire beginning scene I thought was actually quite shit. They could have started it off when Peggy dies, but oh well.
Jesus Christ.
It'd
be a cold opening to a movie.
And then Black Widow shows up and beats up regular human beings because that's all she can do. They saved the day. And then Captain America fights Crossbones. And then Crossbones blows himself up. But Scarlet Witch was like, no, and uses magic. And then she throws him in the air. And then he blows up and kills loads of people. Which is completely understandable. Like, collateral damage and all of that. But these guys really take it to heart.
They're really upset about it.
Like, get really upset about it. But they're supposed they're heroes, so yeah. That's kind of what they do. Cut to some dude's house. He's there and he's eating a bowl of cereal. And then, oh no, some dick jumps the curb and drives into his car. And he's all like, oh shit, that's going to be an inconvenience. And then the guy knocks on the door and was like, oh, hey dude, I just hit your car. You want some money? Or we can call the police. That's up to you. I'm easy. No police. He sounds a bit Russian, which makes you think something's going on here. And he's all like, I'll open the door. And then, gets smashed in the face. He gets knocked out. And then he wakes up, upside down, tied to a pole. Which is another thing. How did he get him up there? Like, that must have taken serious strength and forward planning to be able to tie a man upside down on your own. That's just unrealistic.
Just tools of the trade.
Tools of the trade. Yeah, that's what you get for being part of a Sokovian hit squad, I suppose. But anyway, and in comes Mr. Daniel Brühl, aka Zemo. He introduces himself at this point. He's like, "My name is Zemo." Great actor. And then he's like, he's got a hammer. He's got a hammer and he's hammering the wall. And then he pulls out a little box and he empties the box. And he gets out a red book. It was like, how did you find me? Cue what happened in the last Captain America movie. The last Captain America. Not the previous movie, but the last Captain America. That was the final Captain America movie. Black Widow released loads of Hydra files. Or S.H.I.E.L.D. files, I suppose, because Hydra was S.H.I.E.L.D. It gets confusing. They were all encrypted, but fortunately I have experience and patience. A man can do anything with these two things. Also a direct quote.
Very nice.
And mate, I love this guy. He sounds, his voice is amazing. He's a gorgeous looking guy. I'd love to meet him. Daniel Brühl, we should be friends. Get me in a movie. And
that's what friends do.
That's what friends do. I will befriend every actor.
Just to be in
maybe movies. Some, maybe not.
Oh my god. You're choosy too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can be. Anyway, and then he's all like, what do you want? Mission report, December 16, 1991. I remembered the date and everything. Then again, I did watch this movie yesterday. Damn, I did fall asleep halfway through, though.
Alright, so that's where it's going to get real fuzzy in the story.
The last half of this might get a bit iffy. But yeah.
As if it's not a little bit already.
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows exactly what's happening. If not, watch the fucking movie.
There's a difference, though, between the movie and then your version of the movie.
Well, yeah, you might be right.
Truly where the joy comes. So he's asking for the information.
He's all like, I need to know this information. He's like, I can't tell you that. But if you don't tell me, I'm going to use this book. And then I'm just going to find out anyway. We don't know what the book does. But from the flashback, flash forward at the beginning of the movie, we have a good idea. Because we realize that if he reads the things, brainwash Buki. and that's bad. So he's like, you need to tell me now. And he's like, I'm not going to tell you anything. So he's like, shit. So he turns the tap on and drowns him.
He's not pleased about it, though.
The push Zemo off is this kind of like, he's a bad guy, but he's a bad guy that you can sympathize with.
I think that applies to you and only you.
Really? Nobody else sympathizes with Zemo in this film.
Mostly you.
I think
you are an above-average fan of him.
While he was slightly misguided in what he did, I believe he was like half justified.
We have a Zemo apologist.
100% a Zemo apologist. I love Zemo. He's a great character. And he didn't get enough screen time, that's what I say.
In your version, you can make him have more.
Absolutely. I would have him single-handedly fight the Avengers on his own and win.
And
win, obviously. What were we doing? So that scene was over. So now we go to the next scene, which is Captain America watching TV. He's watching the news. He's watching King T'Chaka talking about what happened in... Was it Nigeria? I think they were in Nigeria.
And they're pissed
If they weren't in Nigeria, leave a comment.
It's going to be 100 comments and they weren't. It's not going to be anyone answering.
They weren't. Shit. Anyway, he's watching the news and he's like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Turns off the TV, and then he hears the news coming from another room. He's like, I quite clearly just fucking said it. He goes over and Wanda's watching the news because she's super upset because she just murdered like 9 people.
Oopsie.
You'd think she would be okay with, given, her history of working with Hydra and wanting to kill the Avengers.
I guess
I'm going to assume that she's killed people before.
Yeah, but she was supposed to be saving them, and then also people recorded it and got real mad.
Yeah, I suppose. Like, if there were no witnesses, I'm sure she would have been perfectly fine.
She's mad she got caught. She's not upset about killing people.
Oh, I'm sorry I got caught killing these people.
I don't give a fuck about these innocent
people. Anyway, and then she's all like, shit, these people are super mad at me. I'm a bad person. And the Captain Americans are like, people die. Get you fucking used to it. Jesus. I'm a captain, for shit's sake. I mean, I suppose that's pretty much the message you got across, right?
Oh, I guess. It seems kind of harsh for Cap.
Kind of went through the whole, well, you can't save everybody. And as soon as you start expecting yourself to be able to save everybody, maybe you save nobody. And then Vision comes through the wall, and he's all like, whoops, this is the wrong room. He doesn't, but they were like, knock for fuck's sake. Just because you can go through walls doesn't mean you should. Played by Paul Bettany, who's a fantastic actor. He was in Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe, Master and Commander with Russell Crowe. He was in Iron Man with Russell Crowe. Wasn't in that. No, he wasn't in that. He was in, what was that really good movie where he played an angel? Legion. A lot of people might disagree with that, but I think it was a good film.
Comment if you disagree. Comment if you agree.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you think Legion was a good film. Like, comment, and subscribe if you didn't think it was a good film.
You have no choice. We forced your hand.
Leave a comment if you love ice cream.
Oh, god damn it. Now I have to comment.
But also, maybe if you like Legion.
But
anyway, we're getting off topic here. But anyway, Legion comes through and he's like, oh, yeah, Tony Stark's showing back up again, but he's got a guest. Everyone's like, oh, who is that guest? And he's like, it's the Secretary of State. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a big man. I wonder who it's going to be. The Secretary of State, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, shows up. I need to talk to you guys. You guys are dope as shit. Like, you saved the world multiple times, but you got to stop blowing stuff up. And then, right, this is what really I would have, if I was a member of the Avengers, I would have stood up and said something at this point, because he starts showing you clips of previous movies. Here's what happened in New York, which was an alien invasion.
Yep.
Not their fault. Washington. We've got the scene of all those massive airships from Winter Soldier falling out of the sky. Also not their fault. Sort of their fault. But they did prevent millions of people from being murdered. So I would give them that. Sokovia, giant block of earth falling from the sky. Also not their fault. Like, there was no way that they could have prevented that from happening. Like, that was Ultron's fault. That wasn't the Avengers' fault. That was Ultron's fault.
Ultron was Tony Stark's fault.
No, it wasn't. I'm with Tony Stark on this one. He didn't make Ultron. It was just a byproduct. Did we get a working interface? No, that's what he said. And it was like, well, you did something right. It was like, yeah, I went to a party. Like, he didn't make Ultron. That shit was an accident. Or I suppose it was Ultron, making shit. But anyway, irrelevant. It wasn't the Avengers' fault. They shouldn't be held accountable. But if anything, they should be celebrated for taking such a bad situation and not having it result in millions of people dying. I mean, a couple people dying or 1 million people dying. It's like, you've got the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Simple as that. Secretary of State should know this. But anyway, he's all like, yeah, you guys are fucked. And he throws a book down. And he's like, you guys are all grounded for breaking shit. And everyone's like, well, probably not a good idea.
Everyone goes, way to go, Scarlet Witch. You're fucking up for everybody.
It's like, way to go, Scarlet Witch. A couple people died. Now I'm not allowed to fly around in my Iron Man suit. And also, another thing that bugged me about this film is the fact that Tony Stark was so easy to convince.
In what way?
To just bend over backwards for the government.
It's because he wants to fly around in his Iron Man suit.
You've seen Iron Man 2, right? That entire movie is him standing up against the government and saying, nah, fuck you guys. I'm going to fly around in my iron suit anyway. Because one person comes up to him and hands him a photograph of someone who dies. He just goes, oh yeah, I guess they're right. Like, what? No, you're Iron Man. I mean, he was on that side in the comic book, so he had to be on that side in the in the movie.
I think it makes sense.
I think he had a bit more reason to be on that side in the comic books. Like, a lot more people died to spark the Civil War in the comic book.
I thought it was partially because of Ultron that he wanted it as well.
Maybe.
Because that was a big fucking
situation. I mean, I suppose that was a bit of a snafu.
Just a little one.
I mean, I accidentally made a murder robot. Whoops. I mean, I suppose so. I mean, I guess
it's a little justified. Not to the full degree, but it's a little justified.
Anyway, and then they're having a big old argument. Everyone's quite clearly already chosen their sides. And then Captain America gets a text message. Oh, sorry, Cap. Your missus died. He's like, shit, I've got to go to a funeral. Guess I've got to go buy a suit. So he runs off. He cries a little bit. Oh. And then cue the funeral. And he's super sad. And he's helping like 9 other people carry a coffin, even though he quite clearly could have done it on his own. He could have just fucking on the shoulder, just fucking walked that shit on his own, right? He's a super
arm
soldier.
Carrying Peggy's coffin.
Yeah, he could have, right?
Of course he could have. It's a little uncouth.
Should have.
It's a little uncouth.
Well,
actually, no. Peggy would have loved it. Are you kidding me?
She would have absolutely loved it. She was gagging for a bit of Cap.
Oh, God.
Especially when, I got to put it in the ground. Oh, no, Captain America, I love you. Blob, 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 blob. 90 years later, he's still a hunk. That's like every woman's dream, right? Right, is it?
I can't say I've had that particular dream before.
Oh, well, I guess I was wrong.
Being 90 years old and having like a childhood crush, basically.
That's correct. Then obviously the funeral's over and then Black Widow shows up and she's like, I don't want you to be alone. Because Captain America's so emotional. I suppose like his girlfriend died. Whatever. Like 9 other people just died in Nigeria. Instantly forgets about those. Hey-ho, let's go. So now we go to all the politicians meet up to sign the Accords, the Sokovia Accords that I didn't explain. The book that Thunderbolt Ross drops on the table. And he's like, you guys are fucked. That bit. And he's all like, yeah, okay, we're going to sign this book. And then they introduce King T'Chaka and Prince T'Challa, a.k.a. Black Panther. 2 people in one room can do more than 100. Unless you need to move a piano. Ha 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 ha. And then they speak a little bit in African. I forgot to put subtitles on when I watched it last night, so I can't remember what they said. And I'm not going to do an impersonation, because that would definitely be racist. So, they're talking, and the king's talking, and he's all like, just because lots of people died doesn't mean that we're not going to help you people out. And then, get down! And then a van explodes, big bomb, and then he gets fucking thrown through like a sack of spaghetti. And then he like crawls over and his dad's dead and he's super upset. And then Captain America and Falcon and Sharon Carter, who was Peggy's niece. She's really old though for an auntie, right?
So I'm wondering if there's another generation in there.
Maybe there is another generation. Or if anyone knows, leave it in the comments.
God damn it.
And then they're watching the TV. And then they see that the bomb blew up.
Watching the TV in this movie.
There is a lot watching the TV in this movie. They're all lazy. And then the news is like, oh, here's a photo. It was Winter Soldier. Captain America's eyes go, ooh. He gets a little bit of a boner. Because Steve Rogers loves Buki Barnes.
Kabuki Barnes.
Absolutely loves Kabuki Barnes. And he's like, he was my best buddy growing up in Brooklyn when I was 12. It's like 100 years ago. Like, get over it. And he's like, oh, cool. Now we have to go there and catch him. And then he gets there super quick. How does he get there so quickly? Maybe Falcon flies in. Like, holds onto his booties, and Falcon just goes whoosh, going on a magical ride. I can show you the world. Oh, that'd be amazing.
That was a deleted scene from the movie.
Yeah. And also Don Cheadle and Robert Downey Jr. were doing the same thing. They were flying and it's like shining, shimmering, splendid. I'll not get into Disney because I'll never stop. They show up, they're in their usual, like, we're a Hollywood movie star in a movie who now has to keep a low profile and hide from the police. So I'm naturally going to wear a hoodie, aviators, and a baseball cap. Because they all do it. And that is a trope in movies that I do not like.
What, the disguise?
The cliche disguise that makes you stand out more than if you were just wearing normal clothes.
I think it works in the case of some of these heroes who are very recognizable.
If you are wearing a baseball cap, sunglasses, and a hoodie, you look suspicious.
Winter Soldier has a fucking metal arm with a star.
Yeah, he
on
can
it.
wear a coat. Like, even under that coat, he had a hoodie and he was wearing a baseball cap. Jesus. If he was that worried about being found, he would have just got plastic surgery.
Do you think, I don't know if there was time, do you think a different type of hat would be more successful? Do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, like a beanie. Like a beanie would be way better idea.
Fucking Winter Soldier in a beanie. He would look like an asshole.
No, he wouldn't. He would look amazing.
He's got like a beanie from Hot Topic on.
Yeah, like, absolutely. Like one of
Says
the
bad on
really
the
long
top of it.
ones, like the really long ones, though, like the
God.
ones that droop down the back, ones that make it look a little bit like Link from Legend of Zelda. So
That's
I'm
not a
wearing
beanie.
one like that. I'm wearing one like that.
No,
right
he's
now.
a weeaboo wearing the Zelda hat.
Yeah, I want him to be wearing. Like, you know those hoodies that look like you're wearing like
He's
a suit
wearing
of
a
armor.
wig of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, and he's got a Buster Sword.
That's much more inconspicuous. You're right.
Yeah, like, and if Captain Rogers wants to blend in, he should have dressed up like Auron from Final Fantasy X.
So Captain America goes to find Buki.
Anyway, yeah, he
dressed
goes
as
up
Cloud.
and he gets a piece of
Cosplay.
paper from Sharon Carter, and he ends up in Buki Burns' house. He opens up his diary, and he's been writing about Captain America. And
Aw.
Captain America's like, oh, he does think of me. Those two are adorable. Anyway,
That is
and then he turns around and he sees old Buki. And he's like, oh shit, I was reading his diary. Uh-oh, do you know who I am? He's like, yeah, you're Steve. And I was like, he said my name. And then German special forces try to kill him. And he's like, nuh-uh. And he gets his bag. And then he beat up all the people on the way down the stairs. And Captain America half beats up some of the people going down the stairs. He jumps out of a window onto another building. And then, superhero landing. Black Panther.
3-point landing.
It's like 3-point landing. No, I think he does a 4-point landing because, you know, Black Panther, he's got a bit more of like Spider-Man motion about him. Like Spider-Man never really does a 3-point landing. He always lands on all fours, doesn't he? Anyway, and then Winter Soldier's fighting Black Panther and he's like, whoosh, whoosh. And they use this to basically show off how badass Black Panther is. Because he is a badass. You know, he once got Silver Surfer in like an arm lock, and he was like, "No, let go of me." Not in the movie though; that didn't happen.
You mean the
anyway.
fifth Fantastic Five member?
Yeah, Fantastic Five. And then there's a lot of running, but, like really not good at explaining action
You
sequences.
condensed an entire action sequence into running.
Just you wait until we get to the airport scene.
I can't wait.
And then
So they ran,
there's a bit
and
of
then what
running.
happened?
Fucking War Machine, my boy Don Cheadle, fucking plonk, lands on the floor, pulls out all of his miniguns, and it's all like, don't fucking move or I'll kill you. Then Black Panther takes his mask off, and oh look, it was Prince King now, T'Challa. And he's like, Your Highness. And then he's all like, you're a criminal, Captain America, you're a dirty, filthy criminal. Fuck you.
Jesus.
That was the end of that scene. And then, and then the next scene,
Beautiful transitions.
Vision's in the kitchen and he's cooking. He's making paprikash.
Paprikash.
I don't know what paprikash is.
I don't know either.
I'm assuming it's some form of chicken paprika. I'm guessing that purely by the name.
Leave it in the comments if you know what paprikash
Leave it in the
is.
comments if you know what a paprikash is.
At this point, people are at like 10 comments.
Good. I haven't had any yet. And he's all like, Scarlet Witch, people are afraid. People like you, but they're afraid of you. But I like you. You can quite clearly tell that Vision's got a crush on Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
I mean, I would too. Elizabeth Olsen is gorgeous. He's all like, I'm not letting you leave. You're now a hostage in your own home. That scene was quite boring, so I'm going to go through that one.
Wow.
So now Captain America and Falcon are criminals, and they're in the back of a regular car. I think they could get out of a police car quite quickly. And they drive through, and fucking Bilbo. What?
Oh, Martin Freeman.
Yeah, Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo Baggins pops up and he's like, motherfuckers. I didn't like his accent in this film, but he's like, you guys are a bunch of criminals. Yeah, follow me. I'm going to put you in an office room instead of a prison cell because you'd beat me up. And he's like, what's going to happen to Buki? And he's like, same thing that should have happened to you, see? Bucky is in this big old massive, like, he's got his arms strapped and he's in like a big bomb-proof house. He's like, he's going to get psychological evaluation. And then he's like, yeah, we've got this dope guy from Germany. It's Zemo.
It's not suspicious at all.
Well, I think they're in Germany. Anywho's. Oh, there's also that nice little scene with Captain America and Iron Man. Iron Man shows up and he's like, you bet your ass there's going to be consequences. And then he gives him a pen. He gives Captain America a nice pen. He goes, I got this lovely pen. It's for you. I'll sign the fucking piece of paper. And he's like, I don't want to sign it. He's like, just fucking sign it. He's like, no, leave me alone. Jeez. And he's like, please, I've got Wanda in her hat. She's at home. She's not allowed to leave. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake, Tony. Jesus Christ. No, I'm not signing it. Have your pen back. I didn't really do that scene justice, but it was actually a really good scene watching those two like have that big heated argument. Anyways, old Zemo starts interviewing the Winter Soldier, and he's all like, do you know why you're here? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, because you think that when you start talking, the bad things will come out. It's like, we don't have to talk about those things. We only have to talk about one. And it's like, oh, suspenseful. He's like, okay, and then he's on his iPad and he sees he's got a delivery. That delivery is a big electric power plant thing, and they get a box. And the box explodes and it shuts all the power down. Everyone's like, oh no. Then he starts reading the book that's in Russian from the beginning of the film. And then Winter Soldier's like, what do you want to know? And he's like, mission report, December 16, 1991. But he doesn't tell you what he tells him. He just disappears. And then Captain America and Falcon are running. And then they get their ass beat. And Captain America falls down an elevator shaft. And then Iron Man's like, I mean, I would help, but I don't have my Iron Man suit. You have this neat little Iron Man glove, though. Lots of fighting. And Tony Stark goes pew pew with his Iron Man glove. He gets smacked around by Winter Soldier. And then Sharon Carter, she gets fucking power slammed through a table. That was one scene that I remembered because it really looked like it hurt. And then Black Widow jumps on him and she was like, bah, 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 bah. And then he starts choking her like proper, like, and like you can see she's like, who stops that from happening? Black Panther. He stops it from happening because he's dope even without his outfit. What, you really don't like it when I say dope, do you?
No.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
I know you will.
Anyway, he's amazing. He's mad dope.
Okay, so he saves Black Widow.
He saves Black Widow, and then he starts chasing Bucky, and then he gets away from him, and then Captain America catches up with him. And then, Bucky, well, he's not Bucky Barnes at this point because he's like mind controlled. So I'm going to call him Winter Soldier at this point. Okay. So Winter Soldier gets in a helicopter, starts to fly off, and then Captain America runs, and he grabs the helicopter. And this is where they really prove just how super strong he is. He manages to prevent a helicopter from taking off using purely his biceps.
Hell yeah.
Winter Soldier's like, this clearly isn't working. I'm just going to fly the helicopter into the floor. He does that. And he's like, but I'm bringing you with me. The helicopter falls into the water, and then they both fall in the water, and Winter Soldier smashes his head on the window, and then Captain America swims down, and he rescues him, and he gets him back up. And then Black Widow and Tony Stark are like, oh man, this sucks. And then Thunderbolt Ross is like, you've got 36 hours, 48 hours. You've got 48 hours to find him. They were like, we need a bit of help. And he's like, it's cool, I know a guy. Actually, that was a bit later. The scene before that, Bucky Barnes wakes up and he's got his arm in a massive, like, pneumatic press. Can't get his robot arm out. And they're all like, you need to tell us why people are trying to brainwash you. And he's all like, oh, because I'm not the only Winter Soldier. Dun, dun, dun. And then he explains, I think there was a flashback. Yeah, Winter Soldier shoots the car again. And he gets the drugs. And then they put the drugs in the people. And then other people become super soldiers. He was explaining about how these people are super good at being soldiers, being Winter Soldiers. And he's like, they can hide in plain sight. They can infiltrate. They can rap battle. They can do everything. They can't be stopped. Like Eminem on Speed. Like, it's like, whoa, there's no way we could possibly rap battle against that. They were like, how are we going to possibly beat these people? And then Falcon's like, it's cool because I know a guy.
Everyone knows a guy.
Everyone knows a guy. Like, Falcon knows a guy and Tony Stark knows a guy. This is where my favorite scene happens.
Mm-hmm.
In the film ever. Favorite scene. Cue this cool teenage kid who's got a DVD player and a backpack, and he's all like walking down, and he opens the door.
Drake Bell.
He goes, hey, Aunt May. And then you're like, Spider-Man! They did it! And he's like, there's this crazy car outside. And then he turns around, and there's Tony Stark's in his kitchen. living room, eating food with Aunt May. Strangely attractive. Hey, I'm here for that thing that we talked about, remember? And he's like, yeah, no. What thing? He's like, that thing. Shut up. Shh, just play along. He's like, oh, yeah, that thing. That's cool. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to talk to you in your bedroom. And he's all like, yeah, who gives a fuck about that pretend thing we were talking about? This is you, right? He plays a cool video of Spider-Man. I was like, yeah, it's awesome. I fucking love Spider-Man. And he's like, that wasn't me. That was all fake. That was all CGI, right? And he was like, no, you like fucking stopped the whole car with just your muscles. But you're like super dinky. No, that's not me. That's obviously fake. And then Tony Stark's not having any of his bullshit. He just goes boing, and then the costume falls, and he instantly catches it because his Spidey sense didn't pick up on that before. Anyway, I love Spider-Man. Like, comment, subscribe if you like Spider-Man. So, I'm going to give you a whole makeover, top to bottom, systemic, direct quote. and then this is where the best line comes from. I think this was probably the scene that people identify with the most. Not me, because I already was working a full-time job at this point, but people in school probably identified with this bit the most. You ever been to Germany? We're going to Germany. And he's like, I can't go to Germany. And he's like, why? Like, I've got homework. I thought that scene was amazing. And everyone in the cinema started laughing. Because I saw this in the cinema. It's a very good film. He can't go to Germany because he's got homework.
Yeah, he's just a kid.
He's just a kid with kid problems. And he's all like, yeah, but, I'm Spider-Man, right? So I've got to save the world and stuff, but I've still got to be a super nerdy kid. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. Like, if his logic was like, oh, I couldn't play football then, that means I can't now. I'm like, yeah, but you could rob a bank. Like, I'm sure we discussed this. Like, if I had superpowers, I would 100% rob a bank. Because I need money.
I think that makes you a supervillain.
I mean, yeah.
Or Plastic Man.
That's just, your opinion. In my eyes, I'd be a great guy.
You know how shitty that would be for Iron Man? For Tony Stark, if he helped out Spider-Man, and then he just started turning
Spider-Man just became a massive supervillain. That would be so cool. Anyway.
Yes.
What else happens?
So he recruits Spider-Man.
He recruits Spider-Man, and that's the end of that scene. And
then scene transitions are beautiful.
Could you imagine if I wrote a screenplay? And that's the end of that scene. And then they look
at the camera and fade to black. Moving on.
I would have star shots. When there's a star comes out, a star transition. I'd have that in every scene.
Oh God.
Anyway, what else happened? Yeah, and then Wanda's in the house, and she's like bored. I want to come out and play with my friend. Vision's like, you're not allowed to. You're grounded because you killed those people. And then some cars explode. Vision's like, you're grounded. So I'll go and check this out. And then as soon as he phase shifts through the wall, here comes Clint Barton, because you couldn't have an Avengers movie without him.
Hawkeye.
I love Clint Barton or Hawkeye or Jeremy Renner.
Renner.
He's such a handsome hunk. He's a hunky man. He's a beautiful guy. His character's got the best sense of humor. He's like, yeah, I'm here to bust you out. Please come with me. Otherwise, this was a bad idea. Then Vision's like, don't do that, Clint. And he electrocutes him. And then Wanda's magic slam dunks Vision through the floor. And there's another good scene. This is the good scene when Bucky Barnes, Steve Rogers, and Sam Wilson were in that tiny little car. Tiny little car, and the itty bitty car. And then Steve Rogers gets out and he meets Sharon Carter again because she's got all of the stuff in the back of her car. And then Bucky's like, can you move your seat forward? And then he's like, no. I was like, that's excellent, right? Because that's what happens with me and my friends. Hey, can you move your seat forward? No. You dick. Anyway, and then he gets his Captain America outfit and his shield, and Falcon gets his wings, his bird costume, as they called it in the movie. Very funny. And then he makes out with Sharon, and then he turns around, and the two guys are just there they totally go for it. They legit go for it. She's wanted to do that for 2 movies.
And she did.
Right, good for her. Also good for Steve, because he needs to move on, because Peggy's dead.
Do you think that is weird, that relationship? Because she's a young relative of Peggy?
No.
Okay.
Didn't they do something like that in Twilight? I've never seen the Twilight movie, so this is all hearsay.
Oh, this is that jump. Oh, that jump. You're wearing Cap being frozen in ice to a vampire? Am I interpreting this correctly?
No. To a werewolf.
Oh, a werewolf. Oh, pardon me.
That's way different. Because I'm sure that in the Twilight stories, that's the thing, I've never read the Twilight series. I've never seen the Twilight series. So this may be completely inaccurate.
Coming in a future episode, the Twilight movies.
But I am sure, obviously, because right. So Vampire Man was in love with Kristen Stewart, right?
Yes.
But Werewolf Man was also in love with Kristen Stewart.
This is true. As far as I know, I've never actually seen him.
He's like her guardian, right? So he like looks after her, which is why he doesn't like the vampire. But obviously, at the end of that stuff, she obviously chooses the Vampire Man. So he's alone, but I am 100% sure, because he's a werewolf and he lives like super long, he hooks up with Kristen Stewart's daughter in the future. I'm sure that's what happened. Now, that might be completely wrong. Who knows?
You're sure it's basically that's what happens, but it might be completely wrong.
Like, I mean, I may have heard it differently, but I think that's what happened.
We'll come back to the Twilight Saga at some point in the future. How about that?
Do we have to?
No.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
That's
so they
one
got
of
all
those
their stuff back from Cher.
They got all their stuff back. The end
of that scene. Moving on.
Oh yeah, of that scene. and then.
God damn it!
Shit. Oh yeah, and then they're in a car park at the airport. Doing all right, because I thought I was going to completely fucking forget everything that happened after this point. Because
this is where
I watched it last night. I honestly fell asleep like 8 scenes ago.
Oh my god!
Like yesterday. So most of this is like the back of my head kind of memory sort of stuff. And then Hawkeye meets up with Captain America, and Wanda's there, and she's like, I got that for my ass. And then he opens the door, and it's fucking Ant-Man. Funny man, Paul Rudd. And he's like, oh, you're really big. You got big muscles. You're cool too. Funny man, Paul Rudd. And he's like, cool, let's go. Let's suit up. And Captain America's running. He's running, and he's running. And then then Iron Man shows up, and he's a funny man too. Because he's like, oh, isn't it crazy how you always meet people at the airport? Ain't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, War Machine? And he's like, oh, it's super crazy. Captain America's like, please, guys, be reasonable. We are trying to save the world. Zemo's trying to resurrect an army of winter soldiers. You should help us stop that because you're the good guy. And he's like, no, I'm grounded. You should be grounded too. I didn't even kill those people. You and Wanda killed those people. And now I get grounded? That's not fair. Screw it. I'm bored of this conversation now. On the roof, Spider-Man. And he webs up his arms and he takes the shield. And then he does that sick. It actually does. He does a 3-point landing on that van, doesn't he? Because he's got the shield in his arm. How was that, Mr. Stark? Iron Man's like, you're going to come with us, please, because we're friends. And Captain America's like, no, I gotta save the world. So he pulls his arms up and Hawkeye goes with his arrow and he shoots the web and then they have a big fight.
This is the big old fight scene we were excited and waiting for with bated breath. Break it down for me, Cassini.
Alright, so...
You already got the intro with Spider-Man.
This is the really difficult part. Because now I have to try and remember who's on what side.
If you want to, you can condense this down into one sentence. If you feel confident in doing it.
God. Captain America, Team Cap, and Team Iron Man. Again, a big old fight. Ant-Man goes massive, and he gets knocked the fuck out. And that's pretty much the most important part of the fight. They go to fly away, and Rhodey's like, I've got him. And Falcon's behind him, and he's like, Jesus, fuck, just shoot him. And he goes, forehead beam. Sam's better than that, so he just moves out the way, which Rhodey should have done as well.
So War Machine gets fucked over.
War Machine gets fucked over. Buki and Rogers
I keep forgetting.
Fly to Russia. Find out that all of the people that were on Team Cap are now in a big ocean prison. Tony Stark finds out Captain America was actually right all along and that Zemo framed Bucky Barnes. And he's all like, damn it. Now I need to find out where they're going so I can help. So anyway, Captain America and Bucky Barnes are in Russia, and they bump into Iron Man. He's like, hey, buddy, I'm not here to fight you now. I'm here to help. Then they go into this big old room, and then they find the Winter Soldiers, but they're all dead. And they find out that Zemo was behind it the whole time, and he was like, I didn't want to kill them. I just wanted to show you guys this movie. It's movie night in Siberia. And then he starts playing a movie, and Iron Man's like, what is this? And then you find out that Bucky Barnes, December 16, 1991, was brainwashed by the Russians and he killed Tony Stark's parents. Don't know if you know, Tony Stark was very bummed about. I think a lot of people can relate to Tony Stark being a billionaire and
it's a very relatable character. Yes,
very relatable character. It wasn't the fact that he was like, he killed my parents, because obviously they always made a point that Tony Stark never really liked his dad, did he?
I don't know if he disliked him to the point of wanting him to die, but
like, I don't think he wanted him to die, but it was the scene. It was like, don't do this, Tony. He was like, I'm sorry, man, but he killed my mom. I was like, oh, I'd want to kill him too. I love my mom.
oh.
Brilliant. Anyway, so then this big fight happens.
A good old big fight scene.
Guys, everyone punches and Tony Stark flies around and shoots lasers and blows up loads of things. And then there's the big, cool melee scene where Tony Stark realizes that he's getting the shit kicked out of him. And he's like, there's really no chance that we're going to stop this guy. But then the big scene where Captain America takes a shield and fucking impales right in the chest. And goes, Purr! And then the suit stops working because obviously it lost its batteries. And he's all like, "You're an asshole." And then I think he pulls like a really petty argument. And he's like, "You can't have that shield. That's my dad's shield." and then Captain America's like, "All right, fuck you." Drops the shield on the floor. And that's the end. And then he walks off and he's very upset. This isn't the end of the movie. I'm not finished. And then Zemo kind of sits down. And then he starts looking at his phone, listening to his phone because his wife died. So he's listening to a recording of his wife. He's a very relatable guy. And he's sad. And he's all like, I just wanted to make them fight each other. Black Panther's like, kill my dad. And he's all like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I won't kill you. He spends the whole movie thinking that Winter Soldier killed his dad. So he spends the whole movie trying to kill Winter Soldier. Then he finds out that Zemo did it. And then he's so easy to forgive. I suppose it's because Zemo tries to kill himself, and then he stops it. And then I assume Zemo gets arrested. Like, I don't really remember much of what happens in the movie now. Tony Stark gets a package. Oh, it's a phone. Like, as if he can't afford his own phone. It's a letter, and it's like, "Hey, Tony, it's me, Steve. I've always loved you. I wish we could be together, but we disagreed on this one thing. I'll always be there for you. All you have to do is just ask for it." And he's all like, "Oh, I'm so emotional." The Avengers is broken up. And then you think, oh, but these guys are going to just spend forever in prison. Oh, no, because Steve Rogers breaks him out. It's like, sure, I'm glad they left it open for a new one, a.k.a. the Infinity Wars, which is going to be fucking sweet. Then, obviously, with it being a Marvel movie, there was something that happens at the end of the credits. The first end scene credit is Captain America and Black Panther in Wakanda, because they freeze Bucky, don't they? Because I was like, yeah, we're going to freeze him until we can figure out how to take the mind control stuff out of him. And then the second end screen credits... Oh, it's Peter Parker. He's got a black eye, and Aunt May's like wiping it. He was like, how did you get injured? He was like, oh, some guy named Steve from Brooklyn. And that was the Avengers 2.5.
God damn it.
Civil War.
It was glorious. Thank you very much, Cassini.
That movie got a lot of fucking scenes.